The COVID-19 pandemic is having a huge impact on people living with HIV globally. In China, a new survey shows a third of HIV-positive people are running out of medicines, and half don't know where to collect their next antiretroviral refill form from. Winnie Byanyima, the head of UNAIDS, whom we've spoken to on the China Current, says simply, people living with HIV must continue to get the HIV medicines they need to keep them alive. I'm James Chow, and I speak to Andrew Chiji, Chief Executive of AIDS Concern in Hong Kong. Hi Andrew, welcome to the China Current. Let's jump into the first question. People living with HIV are first and foremost people, and so they're bound to be impacted by this pandemic, but also in unique ways. What are some of the stories that you're hearing?
Well, over the last few months, it's been extremely disruptive. COVID has been extremely disruptive for services like ours and so many others, because we have thousands of people coming into our testing centre every year, and they need to meet with a counsellor to do the test and to talk to them about the follow-up if they get a positive result. So COVID has meant that we've had to introduce, of course, lots of infection control measures. That's fairly standard for lots of organisations. But also we've been having to, in some instances, change the services that we offer or stop some of the services. So, for example, we don't go out now into the bars and the clubs where we would normally meet with people who are at risk to talk to them about the need to get HIV testing. They're closed, those venues. So we have to try and do more online to help people understand the risks.
We keep on talking about testing in this COVID pandemic. Testing in the HIV epidemic is equally important, if not much more so. But I hear that you've got this mobile testing kit that you now have available, and perhaps that can help while we're at home and we're not able to access in-person services.
I think, James, a lot of people don't realise that you can now actually do an HIV test yourself in your own home. So I've got a test kit here that we've been providing to the community, and the technology is now very sophisticated. We've got instructions that help people to understand how to do it, and within 15 minutes you can perform the test yourself and know whether you've got a positive result or not. And then there's information for people if they get a positive result about who they can contact and what they should do next.
Of your test device into the drop of blood, it will automatically collect the right amount.
You're in Hong Kong, but across the border in mainland China, I know you work with lots of partner organizations over there. How are people getting on with their lives in the AIDS community, in our community in mainland China?
Well, I think in many cases people are hidden. People living with HIV are hidden. So it's a very stigmatized medical condition, very taboo. A lot of people living with HIV feel shame or embarrassment, unfortunately, about having this medical condition. Often they don't tell their families or their friends or their co-workers, and they make an effort to hide this. So when something happens that's very disruptive, like COVID, and people find that they can't get to their medical appointments or they need to arrange to have medication delivered to their home, this can cause some very real personal challenges and issues for people where they need to come out as HIV positive, or they need to somehow arrange to get emergency medication delivered.
Let's quickly talk about fundraising. I understand about 2/3 of your annual funding comes from benefit events, for example, but of course none of that can take place right now because we can't gather in large numbers. So how are you able to not only fundraise, but to deliver on the services for all of us at this time?
Well, fundraising has fallen off a cliff, James. It's true for AIDS Concern, and it's true for many other organisations that rely on the community giving them the money to run their services. So, of course, we can ask people for more money to get through the difficult times. But the truth is, we also have to cut some of the things that we're doing so that we can survive. So we have to prioritise. But also we have to look at ways that we can offer people services that aren't for free always. So, for example, AIDS Concern has started operating a social enterprise project. We started last year. It's called My Place by AIDS Concern. And people can get medical checkups, they can get HIV self-tests and things like this. And they pay a fee for it, which covers the cost of the service. So these are some of the things that we can do. But I think the tough time is going to continue for quite a while, actually. So it's something we're going to all have to get used to and adapt to be able to continue doing the work that we do.
Andrew, we want to be part of a new way to raise money. Where can we donate to if we're listening and watching right now?
Thank you. Please go to aidsconcern.org.hk. We really appreciate any support people can give.
And we appreciate what you and AIDS Concern does for our community. Thanks very much, Andrew. Take care.